violent vertical edge setter.
I see some gas on the edge. Get that mindset to put your shoulder on somebody. Dig, truck. You're finished. Hey, first down. This is weird. It worse than last time.
Well, hello everybody. Here we isms again. We are going to have ourselves a relaxing little friendly gathering where we talk about all the things we want to. There are no boundaries, no limits, other than no politics, no bullshit like that. But anything else you want to talk about? Relationships. You can talk about anything you want. Mustard, cheeseburgers. What's the best meal in every single state? We could do anything you want, but let's start with the New York Jets and saying hello to some of the greatest fans of said franchise. We'll start with Trin the Great up top. The t-shirt giveaway is totally rigged. You didn't even put me in the list. Dude, Trin, I said this during the stream. I don't pick them. It's all I do is type into the system winner. There's a code that I put in, and Nightbot selects one of you guys randomly. I don't pick anybody. So there you go. Take that. Stuff it in your pipe, Trin. I would love to see you win, man. And I hold to it. Like even when we're doing the numbers, I will not cheat. Let's say I really like somebody. They're a friend of mine. I won't. If they lose, they lose. That's the way it goes. Every single one of those contests has been absolute foolproof as far as been completely above board. Let's say it that way. And Jets is there. Emanon is here. What's up, Emanon? Good to see you, man. Our buddy Mutt Viles is back. What's up? Who's waiting to watch Duck Dynasty? I've never done that. Let's see. So Trin is here. Mutt Viles is here. Emanon's here. Look at all you guys. Duncan's in the house. What's up, Duncan? Trying to boot. You know what? Well, that's funny that, I was a couple minutes late here for some reason. My, this platform that we're on, I'm using something called StreamYard, right? Let me show you. I'll show you right here. This is what it looks like. See this thing? Boop. Instead of GreenBean up there, right here. StreamYard. And I do this. Boop, 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 boop. So, but that for some reason, it said we can't access your cameras. We can't do anything. So I had to reboot everything. And then it came back. It's like, I don't know why. It just did it. It said, nope, we can't do anything. Even though I use it every day, multiple times, it said, oh, we can't access anything. So I rebooted. You know how that goes. Reboot. Finger Lakes is here. What's up, Finger Lakes? Yeah, man. Right on. Let's see. Let's see who else we got here. Trin is really talking tonight. Good to see you, Trin. Fungus Among Us is here. What's up? Hank is here. Right, Ab? Happy after hours, everybody. Crossfire with the screen madness earlier in the Jets Talk 24/7 Talking Jets panel just a few moments ago. Crossfire in the house. That's great. Jay-Z Jets fan is here. What's up, man? Got my Manscaped today. Used your discount, saved almost half from the original price. What an amazing thing, dude. You know what? It's so cool. And I didn't know this when they agreed, when I worked out the sponsorship deal with them. I didn't know that my discount code can be tacked on to other discounts. Like, that's amazing, man. Like, that's not usually the case out there. You know that. They say, oh, you can't combine. Like, even you go to Burger King with a coupon, and like if they're doing a special on it, then like, no, you got to pick one. You got to pick one deal or the other. So not Manscaped. Manscaped, which I have dude, I love this thing. This thing is amazeballs. The wheel. Oh my God, it's so good. But the 20% off, guys, for Manscaped, if they're giving, like if they, I'll show you right now. I want to just take a quick look, real quick. Manscaped.com, real quick. So let's just look at products real fast. I'm just randomly doing something. Okay. We're going to just pick the performance package 2.4.0. Right now, it is 41% off. So if you tack on my 20%, you're getting 61% off from the pricing of the products themselves. It's crazy, dude. So they actually allow that. So if you're going to go get Manscaped products, which I mean, the greatest thing is they're actually awesome products. That's the cool. I love having them as a sponsor. Love them because the products are kick-ass. I sincerely love them. And the combination of discounts is unparalleled. I can't believe it's true. And then they ship it for free. It's the greatest thing ever. So anyway, use my promo code. Joe thought I fell asleep. I was stuck in purgatory, Joe. So use my promo code GreenBean at manscaped.com. And if there's not always a discount, but if there's 5% off, 10% off, you throw on mine and it's 30% off. So it's really, really, really great. Bill has the old 3.0. My 3.0 died after a couple of years. I have the 4.0. And now I have the beard hedger. Oh my God, it's substantial, that damn thing. But yeah, Dark Soldiers here and Jets, like I said, Good Citizen. What's up, Good Citizen? Hey, thanks for the comment the other day, buddy. I mean that sincerely. You know the one I'm talking about. Vervain, you guys were you guys were mad at me. Oh man. Curly Norman, Snowball, everybody's here. It's great. So guys, let's get into something here. Right after we do e-boogie. What about the other one, Liquid IV? Where is it? Where's my Liquid IV? Yeah, right here. Now, it's funny. Somebody said, how come you always have that box if you don't even use the products? I tell you, guys are so analytical sometimes. This box I have 2 left in here. I just keep it because it looks nice to show you guys. You know, why not? Why not do that? But you could rip it off. You could tear here. You see that? And just keep it as so you have, nice and easy to get out. To take it out, but this one is acai berry, right? Can you see that? But yeah, you just take these things, non-GMO electrolyte drink mix. You take the lights are so bright. Sorry, it's hard to see, but you take these things, you dump them in a bottle of water, and it's like dude, you guys have that Crystal Light or whatever. It's the same kind of thing, but this one actually happens to be another badass product. They sell at Whole Foods. I mean, I see it everywhere now. And again, you can save 20% off. Like if you're looking for stuff like if you like Gatorade or Powerade, dude, that shit it's garbage anymore. Like when I was a kid, Gatorade was good. Now it's like packed full of corn syrup and everything else. It's all bullshit, man. And so if you're looking for that drink to get hydration and it tastes good, dude, Liquid IV is the shit. It's the next gen. You know what I mean? And I sound young and hip. Next gen. But yeah, so look, the code's in the disc in the description. Save 20% with that one too. It's great. I love giving 20% off with my codes. Dude, let me share something with you guys real quick. I'm offered all sorts of deals. I'm all sorts of sponsorships. I mean, if I go to my email right now, there's at least one in there right now. A lot of them are bullshit. Like, so number one, a lot of them are fake. So they want me to click on some fucking link and get a virus, right? There's those too. But there are lots of products and deals out there, dude. They're bullshit. Like they want like one. There was one. It was 3% off with the promo code. It's like a $500 item, 3%. I'm like, yeah, why even do that? Or there's like the products are garbage. Like I get sent I'll say, all right, send it to me. Like Liquid IV, before they even had a deal with me, said, look, we're gonna send you a box of our products. Let us know what you think. If you like them, we'll work out a thing. I mean, how great is that? That's when you know somebody's on the level. We know our products are good, so we'll send it to you. If you like it, then we'll do a deal. That to me speaks volumes. Instead of like, there was one they were like, all right, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. All you have to do is pay $119. Like, you know what I mean? Get out of here. I'm not paying you. You know which one that was too? It's Manscaped's competitor. I forget what they called. Shave your balls. I swear to God, like that's the thing. And they had a product called the Pube Muncher. So I liked it. I was like, that sounds neat. The Pube Muncher. Like I guess it's to clean all the hairs off the sink. But again, they were like, you pay us. I'm like, I'm not paying you to sponsor me, So anyway, I like having products that I actually like. You know what I mean? I won't do it. I just won't, man. Again, I get offered all the time. I could very easily take products and make some money and talk to you guys about stupid shit, but I don't want to ruin my rep with you guys. I don't think it's worth it. Not that we'll always like the same stuff, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Duncan's here. I just saw my buddy Ali. What's up, Ali? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you here. Eat grass, everybody. That's right there, Brian. And Matt Simon's here. You got a stomach virus. Geez, I know, dude. You and me, Ali, we've been sick. We're like really getting our ass kicked this year. It's the truth. I hope you feel better, man. That's never good. So let me ask you guys something. What do you think of our new wide receiver coach? Did you guys know we hired a wide receiver coach? Did you guys know that? Like we talk a lot about Derek Carr or Aaron Rodgers or whatever, Jimmy G. But we hired a wide receiver coach, and we needed to hire a wide receivers coach because Miles Austin, our coach, allegedly was illegally gambling on NFL games and is suspended for a year. So we need a guy, but that's probably all she wrote for him, right? Like Mike Lafleur's gone. John Benton is gone, our offensive line coach and run game coordinator. So he's gone. He's all gone. I mean, they're all gone. So Miles Austin goes out with the bathwater. You know what I mean? And now we got a guy, and you guys know who it is? Let me see. I forget. It's Zach something, right? Zach Azzani or something. Let me see if I have it in here. Yep. Zach Azzani. There he is. So Jets hire a wide receiver coach, Zach Azzani. Now, interestingly, I think I talked about it this morning. It feels like months ago. This morning, dude, I was up really late last night, did a really early show. This morning, it knocked my whole day crazy. My day was a mess because of it. Can't do that again. But anyway, so Zach Azzani, we talked about him a little bit, but here's the interesting thing with him. In a similar way to our special teams coach, guys, Boyer, he has made it through 3 different coaching regimes with the Denver Broncos. So they just keep him. Like every coaching regime that comes on, including Nathaniel Hacket last year, they want him to stay. So what does that tell you about him? He's well thought of. When a coach comes into a team, the first thing they want to do is they want to hire their own staff, of course. As a matter of fact, that was one of the main, if not the main reason why we didn't get Matt Rule in the Adam Gase cycle, because we were going to hire Matt Rule. We were very close. It was all agreed upon. And then what Mike McCagnon was trying to do was he was trying to make Matt Rule take Adam Gase as his offensive coordinator and Greg Williams as his defensive coordinator. That's what he was doing. Now, those are the rumored guys. Maybe it's another guy, whatever. But no matter how you slice it, they were trying to make Matt Rule take their coaches. And he said, no, I'm not doing it. I want to hire my own coach. Why? What is this? What are we doing? And that's the thing. Remember how ass backwards we really were. So think of the Mike McCagnon era, guys. Mike McCagnon, he would have, when the offseason, the draft season, he would have a couple scheduled meetings with his assistant GM, a couple scouts. They would meet with the coaches a couple of times to get their, what they're hoping to achieve and what they like. And then he would not allow the coaching staff and the scouting staff to commingle. He didn't want them talking to each other. Why? He didn't want the coach's wants to infect his scouting process. Think about that. So Todd Bowles and his crew, they just had to take whatever Maccagnan and his team wanted, whether it fit or not, whether they liked him or not, and then make, they're supposed to make a team out of it. Now, Todd Bowles is a shitty head coach on top of it. Casey Rogers is a shitty defensive coordinator on top of it. We had 3 offensive coordinators in 4 years, so that's a mess. So there's a lot of shit that was going on the coaching side as well. But the Mike Maccagnan era was ridiculous, dude. He wouldn't let the scouts and coaches talk. Like, why wouldn't they be allowed to talk? And then they fire Todd Bowles and his crew. They hire Matt Rule, and then they want to give him their coaches. They didn't want him to pick his own staff. It's crazy. That's, again, when I think of Joe Douglas and where we are. Okay, so let's say the 2020 draft class, let's say Becton never bounces back and he's a complete bust like he has been up to this point. Very strong rookie season. Last 2 years, we got 3 total quarters out of him, so they are a wash. Denzel Mims, very strong rookie season, complete waste of a 2021. And last year had his ups and downs, but definitely he worked his way onto the active roster, which he wasn't. Remember, Mike Lafleur didn't want to make him active ever. Fucking ridiculous. But let's say both of those guys don't amount to anything in the draft. And let's say we cut punter Braden Mann and Bryce Hall ends up going. And the 2020 draft class is a complete wash. Even if that's the case, where this franchise has come in the 2 seasons since that, especially when you look at Mike Maccagnan, Adam Gase, Todd Bowles, all the stuff that I just mentioned to you. And before that, John Idzik, oh my God. All that stuff in 2 years, let's say 3. Joe Douglas's 3 years, even though the first year was with Adam Gase and all that shit. Look at the difference in this franchise. Look at it. So now we had to get rid of Mike Lafleur and John Benton and then Miles Austin. That could be looked at as a bad deal, right? Totally. But still, by comparison, it doesn't even touch the ineptitude. I mean, we went from the 32nd ranked defense to, in some respects, the number 1 defense, but by everybody's account, top 5. 32nd to top 5. We brought on receiver Garrett Wilson, running back Breece Hall. If our offensive line wasn't decimated, like, who knows what this team would be. So anyway, we brought on a new wide receiver coach that, when you look at what he's done for the last 6 or 7 years, every coach that came on to the Broncos wanted him to stay, in the same way that, what was it? It was Todd Bowles, Adam Gase, Robert Saleh. They all wanted Boyer to stay. So that, to me, is a good sign, right? And the fact that Nathaniel Hacket had him last year, chose to keep him for his staff, and then now got him to leave Denver and come here with us. I'd say those are 2 pretty good signs. I'm really curious to hear what you guys think. Is it the same positive from your perspective as it is on mine here, what I'm trying to say? the pube muncher. Let's see. Eric Demons has been very cold. Yeah. It's funny because it hasn't been cold. Oh, I don't know where you are. It was 65, 70 degrees today. It's February. I can't even believe it. This winter has been, it hasn't even thought of snowing. Not once down here. Let's see. Bill D says, yes, not much NFL experience, though mostly college. Who's that? The wide receiver? No, it's all NFL experience. Let's take a look at him, though. Let's do this. Zach Azzani. Let's take a look at this fella. All right, let's do it together as friends. Okay. Come on. Zach Azzani. I'll share my screen with you. So he's the longest tenured assistant for the Broncos up until we took him. So, all right, here we go. All right, so here's the stories. Broncos lose wide receivers coach Zach Azzani. So, so that's an interesting way to say it, right? They lost him. So it looks like Sean Payton wanted to keep him. So that would have been the fourth. That's what he looks like. Good looking fella. Okay. Looks like he knows what he's doing. Nice round cranium. That's always good. You always want to see a nice round cranial cavity. Now let's go ahead and do it this way. So here we go. Let's take a look at his history. So here's his coaching history, guys. All right. Number one, he's 46 years old. He comes from St. Louis, Missouri. He went to college at Central Michigan. So he's broken into the coaching realm as a wide receiver coach, 1999 and 2000 for Valparaiso. I don't even know what that is, everybody. Then he went to Bowling Green as a graduate assistant, then went to wide receivers coach for Bowling Green. So he's been a wide receiver coach since 1999 here. So then Central Michigan, his own alma mater. Can you get me? Make sure you guys can see this. Okay. 2007 into 2009, he's assistant head coach and wide receiver coach. That's interesting. Then he goes to Florida and he's the passing game coordinator, wide receiver coach. Wow, man. So already here you got 11 years of essentially wide receivers coach with the 1 year as a graduate assistant. So then he goes to Western Kentucky, which is interesting. That's where, wait a minute, that's where Mike White played. Let me see something here. Hold on. Let me see something here. We're going to do, hold on, guys. We got to look at this. This is something going on here, everybody. When did he play for Western Kentucky? We got to see this. I think it might have been after this, but let's take a look. Mike White. All right, so he was there 2016. All right. Let me see. Hold on. Mike White college stats. Hold on. All right, so Mike White went to Western Kentucky 2015. This is interesting. I didn't make that connection, guys. All right, so he was only there for in 2011. So that's just a little circumstantial. Okay, not a big deal. I thought maybe if they were there together, that's interesting. Maybe we're looking at Mike White being our starting quarterback. So he's the offensive coordinator / wide receiver coach for Western Kentucky, Mike White's alma mater here. Then he goes to Wisconsin as wide receiver coach, Tennessee recruiting coordinator and wide receiver coach. Then he's, Tennessee 2015 and 16 passing game coordinator, wide receiver. This guy's a wide receiver coach, baby. And then he breaks into the NFL. So this is what Bill was saying. So the last few years have been NFL, but he's right. The larger sum of his careers was in college. But so he breaks in 2017, wide receivers for the Bears, wide receivers for the Broncos from 2018 to 2022. Again, 3 separate coaching staffs. And then Nathaniel Hacket is able to pull him from the Sean Payton Broncos to come with him to the New York Jets. He just went like this. You know what he did? Nathaniel Hacket went, hey, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Denzel Mims, get over here. That's what he said. And he goes, oh, yeah, I want to work with those boys. And we're going to use a top 3 pick on another wide receiver too. We're going to use our first round pick on Jordan Addison. What do you think of that? That's what we're going to do. Yeah, right. That's it, Matt. So it's about experience. So like, here's the key thing that I'm noticing. Here's what I'm seeing here. We went from quite literally, I see Sky C. Thank you. I'm going to get right to you after this comment. the New York Jets went from the most inexperienced offensive staff, arguably in the NFL, potentially. Once Greg Knapp passed away, we were left with Mike Lafleur, who'd never done it before, has never been an offensive coordinator, and Rob Calabrese, who's never been a quarterback coach before. So much so, we had to bring on John Beck, and Matt Cavanaugh was here to kind of run the offense for Mike LaFleur while he was in the booth. Because don't forget, we had Mike LaFleur on the field for the first 4 games of 2021. Like we're still learning. We didn't even know where he was going to be. So we go from Calabrese and Mike LaFleur, and then Benton kind of leveled it out a little bit, but he's a longtime offensive line coach. But you got Calabrese and Mike LaFleur. We get rid of them and we bring on, Keith Carter, Nathaniel Hacket, Todd Downing, and this guy, Azzani. It's nothing but experience, guys. We went the entire opposite way. You know what I mean? You like that, Phil? The sleuth. That's right. That's me. I'm stumbling on stories, baby. So yeah, now that's what I'm seeing. I think that's a huge deal. Like you got Robert Saleh, he's a first-time head coach. Jeff Ulbrich is a first-time defensive coordinator outside of the, finishing the year as the interim defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. Other than that, this was the first time he was the defensive coordinator. So we had all these first-time guys, Saleh and Ulbricht, getting their experience or going through their 3rd year, and we just said, you know what? We need an offensive staff that can keep up with our defense, and we need people that know what the hell they're doing, have been there and done that in the NFL, and that's what we need. And they did it. They brought on 4 new coaches, all of whom have been through it, dude. I love it. Sky C, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that super chat. He says, hey, GreenBean, loving your hoodie I won out here on the coasts. I wear it all the time. Grateful. That's awesome, man. And thank you for saying that. I mean, I'm very happy that you like it. Sincerely. Because let me tell you, Sky, see, I went through, there was a couple different product lines that I used. And, it's funny because one of them, Teespring, everybody uses Teespring. It's like the one that everybody uses. YouTube has and they make it real easy to use Teespring on YouTube and everything. Let me tell you something. Like 5 different people told me that their shirts faded after 1 or 2 washes. And then the shirts, the samples that I got, every single one of them faded. Every single one. And I mean quick, like the graphic peels off. I was very upset. And I gave people free shirts and all kinds of shit. This brand that I have now, I love them. I love them. And I'm very happy that you got the hoodie and that you like it as well. And thank you for saying it. Our Jets are so close to everything. I love how smart, methodical, and cunning Joe Douglas is. What other pieces do we need besides quarterback? What a great comment. And thanks again for the super chat, buddy. He says, what do we need besides the quarterback? Well, let me say this. Obviously, our offensive line needs to be there, right? Like, even though, like, I see a lot of people giving kind of Joe Douglas a knock for how the offensive line is, He's supposed to be an offensive line guru, right? Which is what we were told. And the offensive line sucks. It looks like shit. Well, I think that's partially true. But again, you have a general manager that, unlike every other general manager we've ever had, and say since Dick Steinberg, that has put more premium assets into the offensive line than any. I mean, McCagnon used 2 picks on an offensive. I think it's 2. I think it's Brian Winters and Chuma Edoga, the highest of which was a 3rd-round pick. McCagnon never even considered using a 1st-round pick on an offensive lineman. Never. Like in the Quinnen Williams year, while I'm very happy with Quinnen now, the team that we had then, we didn't need Quinnen Williams. He's great now because Joe Douglas reorganized everything. But what we should have done in that draft was we had a trade offer. Remember, this is why Adam Gase stormed out of the draft room and like a little baby and didn't hang out for the rest of the weekend with the team. What a jerk off he is, right? He like, meh. But the reason he was so mad is because we had a trade offer on the table to gain at least another second round pick or maybe two, whatever it was. And I believe it was with the Washington then Redskins who wanted to trade up for Dwayne Haskins. They didn't think he would be there when they traded back, or maybe they wanted Daniel Jones. Who knows? But what I wanted them to do was accept that trade, go back to 10, 11, 12, 13, and take Jonah Williams, the left tackle. That's what I thought they should have done. We had Leo. Or if you were going to stay put, you just take edge rusher Josh Allen. But nope, McCagnon didn't even consider that. So think about it. McCagnon used 2 draft picks on offensive linemen, the highest of which was a third. Idzik, he took like 2, right? Dakota Dozier and I think maybe Brandon Shell. Was that Idzik? Maybe not. But either way, he took a couple late round offensive linemen, mid to late round offensive linemen. Tannenbaum, he brought in 2 or 3. You got obviously 2006 with Mangini. They did DeBrickashaw, Ferguson, and Nick Mangold. But since then, it was all mid to late. He brought in Slauson, who was very, very good for us. With the mid-round pick, we did Ode Ibushi, UVA right tackle for I forget what round, maybe the 4th round or something, I think. So he brought in a few, but never since the Brickashaw, Ferguson, and Nick Mangold, which I am convinced all Mangini, by the way. But generally speaking, our general managers don't invest in the offensive line. Joe Douglas in 3 drafts has used 2 first-round picks on offensive linemen. Now, both of those guys are incredibly talented. Sad to say, both of them got hurt. Now, Becton, obviously 2 years in a row being hurt is not a good look. It's not a good sign. But on the field, he was nothing short of dominant. He looked like, wow, we're going to have this guy. Dude, Jonah Williams is fine, Jets forever. I don't know please. He's a good left tackle, and he was the best left tackle in that draft. Give me a break. All right. But so when you look at Becton, I mean, obviously, we were looking at a guy that was like, holy shit, we're going to have the best left tackle in the NFL. Clearly the injuries knock him off, but then AVT similar. Look how much we loved him last year. He was a solid right guard after being a left guard his rookie season. We move him over to right guard. He's dominant. Then we have to move him to left tackle. He's dominant. Then we have to move him to right tackle because all the injuries and everything going on. He's dominant over there. And then he injures his elbow. Not even on the field, right? It was in the training room, if I remember correctly. So, Sky C, it's about like, we obviously need the offensive line to be, we need it. Right? We need these guys to actually play. But the truth is, if we don't add any offensive linemen in the draft or free agency, let's say hypothetically we don't. And all we do, O'Leary, all we do is is get the guys back that were injured. So that would be Mekhi Becton, AVT, Max Mitchell, and Cedric Abuye, he was back. Dr. Blocker wasn't injured. Daniel Brown. So let's say Dwayne Brown. What the hell's his name? The left tackle, Dwayne Brown. Let's say all we do is get those guys back. Our offensive line looks something like this. Mekhi Becton, Laken Tomlinson. Well, we got to figure out center. AVT and Max Mitchell, or Dwayne Brown on the left, Mekhi Becton on the right. Like it's already not it's potential to be a very good offensive line just like that. So I think no matter how you slice it, you can't depend on Becton. You can hope and you can factor him in and really kind of try to get him to be the starter, but you cannot go into this season depending on, you can't. It would be so stupid of a move to do that. But that said, it's still, it still would be fantastic if he comes in, wins the job, and plays most, if not all, of the season. Like if the only injury he has is like 2 weeks with a wrist or something like that, that'd be fine. But yeah, man, that's I think the key. We're going to look at what do we do with wide receivers? We don't know what we're going to do. But I will tell you, like, again, even if we don't add anything, if we just go into next year, we have Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis. Like, hypothetically, we don't make any moves. We have them, keep them, right? Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, Denzel Mims, Braxton Berrios, and then a late flyer on somebody else. Maybe you use a fifth or somebody on a wide receiver, right? Somebody like that. Maybe you use your 5th round pick on Trey Tucker, which is unlikely, but well, let's say we do that. Our offensive line is already good if they're healthy. The wide receiver room is already good, potentially very good, guys. I mean, Elijah Moore and Denzel Mims being in the doghouse was weird. Nothing short of weird. It's 11-11, everybody. It moved. No longer can wish. I'm sorry. Oh, what the hell's that? So let me see something here. Hold on. Let me look at something here. Okay. So, yeah, that's what I think. So O'Leary comes in, he busts my chops. Well, to be fair, though, I did get a late start. Something was happening with my StreamYard, O'Leary. So I got it was 6 minutes late. So even with that, I'm already 36 minutes in. So we'll do another hour. How's that sound? You guys want another hour? Let's do that. How long did Morgan Moses snowball? Let me tell you something about Morgan Moses. He signed, I think it was a 2-year contract, maybe 3 with Baltimore. He wasn't great. He was the best we had, you know what I mean? But he wasn't great. There were numerous instances where he was completely steamrolled. And it happened last year too with him. And I think he got hurt. Let me see how many games he played last year. I think he missed hold on. And he was, one of the things with Morgan, one of his assets is that he's healthy. He's healthy. He's a healthy guy. He misses very, very little time. Let's see how many games he played. Nope, he played 17 games last year. So he didn't get hurt. He started all 17 games. So my bad. I thought he got hurt last year. But anyway, yeah. So, all right, let's see what else we got. Quentin Johnston. I'm not in love with Quentin Johnston, right? I believe. Let me make sure here. Johnston. Yeah, Johnston. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. I like his size, but he's not very physical for his size, if I remember correctly. I got to go and look. I have notes on him. I was doing my wide receiver stuff this week. But yeah, I like Addison. I like obviously Njigba, if I say that right. There's a few guys later. What if we go and get Marvin Mims? What do you guys think? Mims, and we just start them both. What do you think? I just don't think. I have the list of. I like Cedric Tillman a little bit, but I think what we're hearing is that Hackett likes bigger receivers, right? So we already have Elijah Moore. who's 5'10". It's not to say Hackett hopefully can't use him, right? Because that was the thing. Lafleur couldn't use Mims. Ridiculous. So that's the whole thing. We got to have an offensive coordinator, man. He's got to be able to look at his team, even if he prefers, if he has 5'6'2" and above receivers, if he has 3 guys 5'10", he can still make an offense. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? What is this madness? Every high school football coach in the country looks at the students and goes, okay, what do I have? And makes a team out of it. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Paris says, is Calabrese still here? He is. He is still here. Now, we don't know if Robert Saleh said, hey, Calabrese is staying or not. We don't know. But I'll tell you what, he's currently our only quarterback coach on the roster. So I don't know, man. I don't know what that means. What is with this guy? They love Calabrese. Rusty Spooner likes Mims, right? I don't know what round. Let me look at something. What rounds what round? Maybe Dom knows. I see Dom in here. What's up, Dom? What round do you have Marvin Mims going, buddy? What round? I think I was looking at the third or fourth round, I think, with Marvin Mims. Yeah, fourth. I've seen him mocked in the late second, Marvin Mims. I've also seen him mocked in the third. Yeah, so Superfan says third. Tank Dell, M. Morris. That's one of our boy Dom's faves. Tank Dell. So he likes. High Lost Boy likes Jordan Addison. Well, Paris, this is a big question. I mean, Max Mitchell, I think most of us liked him. I liked him in my pre-draft stuff last year. I didn't think we were going to take him because you know what it was? When we were using our fifths to jump up, we used a fifth in the Jermaine Johnson trade. We used a fifth in the Breece Hall trade. We also used a second in the Jermaine Johnson trade as well. So, but when we were at our final 2 picks, I have to admit, I was convinced that the Jets needed to bring in a linebacker from the draft. And there were still linebackers that I liked a lot, maybe a little bit more raw in the 4th round. Let me take a look here. Let me see. 2022 NFL draft. It's hard to remember off the top of my head here. But let me see. Let's go to the 4th round. Michael Clemens, Max. We took Max Mitchell with pick 111. Michael Clemens was the one that surprised me the most. I was happy. I thought we were going to take a linebacker there, but I was very happy that they took Max Mitchell. I said, okay, all right, I like it. I totally support that. I really like it a whole bunch. But guys, Brandon Smith was still on the board when we took Michael Clemens at pick 117. Here, I'll share the screen with you guys so you can see. All right. Now, he was a guy that a lot of us liked, right? Brandon Smith out of linebacker U. So he ended up going to Washington. I haven't checked to see how he did, but I was really like the fact that Brandon Smith right here. Oh, the Panthers took him. I'm sorry. The fact that Brandon Smith was still sitting there at when we took Michael Clemens right here at pick 117, I thought it was almost a sure thing. Like, come on. Brandon Smith is still sitting there. We need a linebacker. And it's our last pick. Said, Joe Douglas played it perfectly. And it's going to be great. And we took Michael Clemens. I was surprised. But Max Mitchell, Again, I thought we were taking a linebacker here too. I thought it'd be Brandon Smith there. There was another one though. Let me see who it was. Hold on. Where am I? All right, so here's Brandon Smith. So let me see. Who's another one that I liked? I think there was 3 that I liked. Oh, yeah, Micah McFadden. He was one. Look at that. The Giants got him with our 5th from the Jets. Let me see who else there was. Marco Jackson. No, that's not him. Damon Clark. I don't know. Kyron Johnson. I don't know. Oh, Darian Beavers. That's him. That's him right there. So we like Darian Beavers at a Cincinnati too. So there were 3 linebackers there that I thought we could absolutely take and be very happy with. But look at this. When we took Jeremy Ruckert, look who was still there. Both of these guys, actually. But Leo Chanel was still there. As much as I like Jeremy Ruckert, and as much as you guys know, I'm a tight end guy, and I love my tight ends. And Jeremy Ruckert was one of my favorite tight ends in the whole class. So the fact that we took him, I was happy, but I was very surprised because we had Kenny Yeboah, who I like, and we used 2 free agent spots to bring on tight ends. We spent all this money on tight end. I thought there's no way we're taking a tight end. I thought Leo Chanel was, come on. I was like, it makes so much sense. Now, Chanel isn't really a solid, prototypical solid guy. But, I still thought it was. I'm like, this is perfect. It's perfect. We're going to get Leo Chanel. That's what I thought. Now, he played in all 17 games. He didn't start. He only started 8 games. Didn't do so well. Let me see here. Yeah, he had 35 tackles and a sack. Nothing great for him. 3 tackles for a loss. 3 quarterback hits. So he played his rookie year. He's on the Chiefs. There's a lot of talent on the Chiefs. But I thought it was anyway. But I'm very happy with Max Mitchell. But here's the thing. Here's my point. As I dance around the entire 2022 draft to get to this friggin' point. The point is Max Mitchell's injury is interesting because it's not as simple. Like he hurt his ankle. We got him back. And then remember he was just like unceremoniously and surprisingly benched. Remember that? And we didn't know. Then we found out it's blood clots. So now the words we got was it's going to be fine, but we don't know that. So it's not as simple as like it's an ACL or it's a high ankle sprain and we know X amount of weeks. It's very, very different. It's an X factor. We don't know what it is. Now the Jets doctors might be like, hey, look, we think he might be able to come back, but you need insurance on this guy. We don't know. They might be thinking that way. And what a bad string of luck that would be. Look at Cam Clark, Joe Douglas's other 4th round tackle. In 2020, Cam Clark never had an injury. I think he had 1 game or something like that. I'd have to look, jog my memory, but he was known as a healthy guy and he was an animal. He was a very aggressive road grader tackle that we were going to move to the inside and make a guard. He got injured his rookie season. And then they were going to give him the opportunity to start. Remember, 2020 or 2021, when we had a group of guys there. It was Greg Van Rooten, Cam Clark, and somebody else who retired suddenly. Remember that? Who the hell was that? I forget. Casey Hansen from Alberta, Canada. What's up, man? Welcome. Look at that. But remember, somebody retired. I forget who it was. So we had this competition going on for right guard. AVT was at left guard. He was starting. No doubt. 1st round pick, the whole thing. Then we had a 3-person competition going on at right guard. Cam Clark was entering his second year. He had been on the team now, and they were going to give him every opportunity to win the job. And he got almost paralyzed in training camp. Remember that? They ended the training camp practice early, had to take him to the hospital. He had no feeling in his lower extremities. And then thankfully it came back. He actually got it all back. But initially he was paralyzed from the waist down. So all of a sudden you lose that guy. And obviously best case scenario as far as his physical health, but losing a second year player that you just drafted is certainly not part of the plan. Then you get Becton who gets hurt. Cam Clark has to retire. Then you get Max Mitchell. You take another 4th round pick on Max Mitchell, and he has blood clots. So it's like, it's a weird. Now, maybe you could say maybe our vetting process is something needs to be fixed. Our medical process, maybe. But nobody was talking. Max Mitchell didn't have that. Remember like Trey Smith in the 2021 draft? Trey Smith was a 1st round talent that slid all the way to like the 6th round or whatever it was. And the Chiefs got him. But most teams took him off their board because of his heart concern. He had heart and blood clot concerns. There was a very real thought that he might never be able to play. So a lot of teams took him off their board. Potentially the Jets did it as well. But look, the Chiefs drafted him in the late round, said, fuck it, we'll take a flyer on this guy. 1st round talent, maybe 2nd at worst. And he's been an animal for them. An animal for them. So it can go either way. But with Max Mitchell, we don't know what he's going to be. We like him. He played very well. He wasn't supposed to have to start in his rookie year. The big thing with Max Mitchell is that he's got everything you like, but he absolutely needs to get stronger. And, in an NFL program, he needs to put on NFL weight, NFL muscle. But even without that, he starts prematurely and he played very well. So that's a great thing. But then the fucking blood clots. So we don't know. It's an interesting string of luck. You know what I mean? And it's bad, it's sad. But again, Joe Douglas is putting the resources, man. He's putting the resources into the offensive line. And all of the picks that he's taken are considered good picks. Hopefully that luck it changes. Because look, again, last year we had the most starting tackles in the NFL last year, and we had the most offensive line alignments, the most changes on the offensive line. No other team had more than us. And think about this, guys. While we sit here and talk about how bad the offensive line was, we were never as bad as the 2020, 2019, 2018 offensive lines. Never. This whole year, with all this craziness that happened, all the injuries, we were never as bad as those offensive lines. We remained middle of the pack. Let me see. Let's see if we can find it here. Let's see. 2022 offensive line rankings. Let's just see where we are. This is PFF. This is offensive line. Let's see if they give it all to us. They're gonna do like a top 5 here. They want me to buy the thing, so I'm not gonna do that. Okay, can you guys see this? Am I still all right? Here we go. Let's see. Pro Football Network. Let's see what they say. Offensive line power rankings 2022. All right, good. They're gonna give us the whole thing. So here's how it goes. Let me just make sure you guys can see this. All right, you can see it. We got the Eagles. This is 2022, so last year. Then you got the Browns. You got the Chiefs. You got the Pats. Then we got the Lions, interestingly enough, the Bucks, the Ravens, the Cowboys, the Niners, the Falcons, the Packers, the Vikings, the Broncos, the Bills, right? So now we're getting right near the middle of the pack here. The Saints, the Texans, the Chargers, the Bengals, the Jaguars, The Panthers, the Seahawks. So we're getting low here, everybody. So look, we were 25th at the end of the year. Lackluster. The loss of Breece Hall was devastating for the Jets, but Elijah Vera Tucker's season-ending injury may have an even greater impact. When was it? This was in the middle of the year. When was this written? Hold on a second. Oh, this is October. I want at the end of the year, damn it. Let me see. End of the year. Let me see. Final offensive line rankings. This is PFF again. Yeah, they suck. Let me see. Can I do? Yeah, if you want, you got to subscribe. I had a code, but I'm not subscribing to PFF. I'm just not doing it. 2020 offensive line regular season, January 10th. Did they give us the whole thing? So at that point, we were 25th. Again, not good, not great. You know, we're not going to sing its praises, but Sam Darnold never had higher than the 31st or 30th offensive line. So there's still, 7 teams worse than us, and we had more injuries than all of them. So you have to commend, at least to some degree here. Seahawks offensive line rankings. That's August 25th. Come on, September. August. Look at this. What's this? Bleacher Report. When is this written? January. Okay, let's take a look at this. This might be something. Is this full? All right. Okay, so let's see what they say. This is Bleacher Report, who you got to take them with a grain of salt, as we all know. 20 Super Bowl Shield, ranking the top 25 offensive lines. Oh, Super Bowl history. This is bullshit. Anyway, it's hard to... No, why? What the hell happened? I didn't say that. Best offensive line. This is crazy, man. 2022 offensive line rankings. End of season. Let's see. Did this whole damn page. Let's see. Let me see if they give it to us. They're not going to do it. Okay, maybe they did. Okay, great. All right, so let's see. We got the Eagles up top, right? We got the Packers, the Chiefs, which, by the way, the Jets' defensive line decimated the Packers, right? Is this year? Let me make sure here. December 14th, 2022. Okay. The Chiefs, the Ravens, the Pats, Falcons, Browns, Niners, Lions, Bears, Panthers, Bucks, Vikes, Hawks, Boys, Raids, Bronx, Steels, Bengs, the Finns, 21, the Commanders, the Jags, the Jets. So the 23rd. So you see it? So here's our offensive line then. Going into week 15, guys. This was our offensive line. We were ranked 23rd. Going into week 15, this is PFF again. You can find one fault, one ranking system's going to say this, but just as an idea. So we had 9 teams that were worse than us at this point in the season as far as PFF is concerned. Our line is Dwayne Brown, Laken Tomlinson, Connor McGovern, Nate Herbig, and George Fant. Musical chairs on the offensive line continues with the Jets. George Fant is the latest starter at right tackle. New York's line has improved its position in the rankings for 4 straight weeks. So you see it. So again, I'm not singing the offensive line's praises. I'm not doing anything of the sort. But what I am doing is reminding everyone that there is more to a situation than just numbers, right? Just looking at things. You have to factor in what's going on. So when people say, Joe Douglas hasn't had a winning team yet, fire him. If that's the metric, then maybe you got a point. But when you look at a guy who's done more and just in this example, the offensive line, 2 first-round picks, 2 fourth-round picks, numerous free agent acquisitions, Laken Tomlinson, Connor McGovern. Say what you want about them. When we did them, they were considered excellent moves. I mean, Laken Tomlinson was a Pro Bowler, guys, the year before. Yeah, how he fell off a cliff, who knows? Who the hell knows what happened there, right? But Dwayne Brown, we go and get Dwayne Brown as an insurance policy. He's never been injured in 12 years. His first 4 days with the Jets, he's injured. What happened there? What happened there? So, again, you have to look at the whole thing. But then here's the real clincher. Even though we had the most injuries at tackle, we had the most starters at tackle in the NFL last year, and we had the most different alignments on the offensive line last year. Even with all of that, as PFF calls it, musical chairs, we were still the 23rd offensive line, not the 32nd, not the 31st, not the 30th, which is where we came from. The fact that Joe Douglas went to literally practice squads and got guys like Cedric Abuye and Mike Remmers, and 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, they're starting, Abuye in particular, Cedric Abuye, he's starting for us. The first game he has to start, guess who he's across from? Von Miller. You know what I mean? And he really did an exceptional job, considering. Yeah, AC Cam Clark was unfortunate. Hated to see him. I'm telling you, it was crazy. It was sad, man. And we were oh, there you go. I see Dom. Thank you. I didn't catch you, but you answered the question. 4th round-ish. Right. That's what we were talking about. For Mr. Mims. Mims Jr. All right. Because clearly Denzel Mims is Denzel Mims Sr. and Marvin Mims is Jr. They're that's what's going on there. Vinny Curry also blood clots. Crazy, right? Yeah, prednisone. You got to be careful with that stuff. That's what they gave me, Hawk, for the Bell's palsy that I just had. I took prednisone for 6 days. Scary taking this shit, man. What do you mean overrated? How could you possibly say that? He's not rated at all, dude. Who's overrating him? Jordan, that's a crazy thing to say, buddy. It's just he was going to be given the opportunity to compete for the job. He was a guy, he's a 4th round pick. He's developmental. You know what I mean? Lots of great offensive linemen are found from the 3rd to 6th round. Plenty. I would say half of the linemen in the NFL are 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round picks. I don't think it's overrated. He was just a guy, 4th round pick, that was a good pick. He had lots of talent, and he was going to be given the opportunity to play. He was injured his rookie year too. So that's why he didn't play. He was injured. So it's unfortunate, man. Like, look, we get this idea in our head that, like, when we draft someone, they're supposed to come onto the NFL roster and light the world on fire. If they don't, they suck. That's not the case for most players. Most players, it takes a minute. It takes a year, 2, 3 years before they really become something. What they're betting on is their development, and, a lot of guys, what do? They go to special teams. Like, let me just point out, there's a really great example. Like when we talk about someone like a Jamie Sherwood, right? Jamie Sherwood, he tore his Achilles his rookie year. So he was out the whole friggin' year. And then he comes in last year and he's a special teams guy, right? He plays special teams the whole year. He does really, really well on special teams, behind only special teams ace Justin Hardy. But whenever Sherwood comes onto the field, he plays very, very well. Like CJ Mosley went down for 3 plays in the Bills game. Sherwood made all 3 tackles, like that kind of stuff, but very limited played toward the end of the year. He's a special teams guy. I've had numerous conversations that he's a special teams guy because he sucks. That's not the case. There's a great example. You might have heard of him. His name is Troy Polamalu. He was drafted. He played special teams almost exclusively his whole entire rookie year. By our standards, he's a wash. He sucks. You know, he came in, he started playing. He wasn't amazing out of the gate. He was very good right away. Played very well special teams. Came in his second year and just built his career and ended up becoming fucking Troy Polamalu. I mean, he's one of the greatest players you've ever seen. If you're old enough to remember Troy Polamalu, as much as I hated him, man. I hated everybody. You guys know how I root. I hated him. But looking back, I mean, there was no denying how great that guy was. He was unbelievable. And that's the thing. So he played his rookie year on the special teams. So I'm not saying Sherwood's going to be Polamalu. I'm just saying we got to give these guys a second. Like what Jordan just said about Cam Clark, he was injured his rookie year. He was coming in. He was in training camp his sophomore year. He was going to absolutely be given the chance to win the job. If he didn't win it, he didn't win it. And then he broke his neck. Like, I don't know. Like, it's fine. It's absolutely normal progression, except for obviously the injury. But rookie year being like on the back burner, you know, being developmental and the whole thing and not playing. And then next year in training camp, given a shot to compete is normal. It's normal stuff. David Gerard says we need a total revamp on the O-line somehow, sadly. Feel like we've spent a lot. I don't feel the same way, David. I got to admit. I don't. Now, Becton is a huge question mark, right? Of course. But again, I think if all that happened was the guys we have came back healthy, then we have a very good offensive line. Center, we got to figure out. We don't know what the hell they're going to do there. Adam says, people blame JD for injuries like Cam. I know it's interesting, man. I don't understand that. It's as if we hold the Jets to a standard that no other team has to adhere to. It's interesting to me to watch. Like, there are guys all over the place. And you know what's really funny? Guys that Jets fans really want in free agency, a lot of them were 4th-round picks that were not all that good the first 2 or 3 years. Like Conklin's a great example. Dalton Schultz, 4th-round pick, I believe. Took him a minute. Well, like when they're in free agency, we're like dying to have them. But a lot of those guys took 2-3 years to become something. Lots of them. We got to give our staff the opportunity to do this with our guys. We got good draft picks. Look at all the late round picks that Joe Douglas has figured out how to bring onto the team, and they're contributing, even if it's special teams. Special teams is important, guys. But you look at guys like Brandon Echols. He's a 6th-round pick. He started last year, 2021, and he's here now. And he's like the first backup. So he gets lots of playing time in certain packages. I still think Bryce Hall is a better player, but that's neither here nor there. Who the hell am I, right? They clearly know what they're looking at. But that is what it is. But even so, like Bryce Hall's on the 53. He's just the first guy inactive. Inactive, not dressed. But these guys are 5th and 6th round picks. Look at Michael Carter. He's a 2nd. He's a 5th round pick. He's a starter, and he's a top shelf starter. That's not the norm for us. Garrett Wilson is better than AVT. I mean, you're probably in another conversation. So I don't know what that all led up to that, but Garrett Wilson is exceptional, dudes. He's something else. I'm telling you. A stud wide receiver is better than a good guard. That's what you're saying. A stud wide receiver can't do shit without a good guard. I'll tell you that, though, Jets super fan. Remember what did Joe Douglas say when it was funny because he was asked the question after we lost Tyreek Hill in the trade to the Dolphins, right? From the Chiefs to the Dolphins. We were in on that. We lost to them. So what did he say? He said the best way to take Tyreek Hill out of the game has nothing to do with the coverage. It's you fucking kill his quarterback. Hit the quarterback. That's what you do. The best way to take away a wide receiver is by hitting him, hitting his quarterback. How do you do that? By beating the offensive line. So while it's, kind of 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other, super fan, the truth is that without one, there isn't the other. Now, when you look at touchdowns, of course, wide receivers, vital. But again, if your quarterback gets 1 second, 1.5 seconds to throw the ball because the guards are shit, then the wide receiver can't do anything. We saw that all year last year. If McGovern leaves, which I do believe he's going to be gone, I believe that the Jets will use a second-round pick on a center. That's what I believe. I mean, there's some guys out there that they're talking about. Here, let's take a quick look. NFL free agency. Let's see here. There are some guys that they're saying are going to be significantly cheaper. I don't know. These projections and stuff, how accurate are they? I don't know. But look at right here. Okay. From Cleveland. He's doing a great job. He's youngish, right? 27 years old. And they're saying his market value is $7.2 million. So if you let McGovern go and bring him on, you're saving. I mean, McGovern's market value is, I believe, 13. Let's take a look. All right. Yeah, so 12.5. So that's $5 million difference. 5 and change. That was 5.3 million. So if you can do that, in my opinion, they're comparable at minimum. Right? And there's all kinds of options like that. Bozeman. How old is Bozeman? Let me see. So his market value is higher, 12 million. You got Bradbury, who's very, very good, but slight. Right? Lee's saying 12 million as well. So most of these guys are 12 million. So you might have to bring a rookie on, David. And I think it's time. I would have liked to have seen that done in years past. You guys know in 2021, as much as I really do like ABT and I liked him in the draft, that wouldn't have been what I did. I would have stayed right where I was, grabbed Creed Humphrey, and then had my 2/3, and I would have been happy to take guys there. I wouldn't have taken Elijah Moore either, but that's a different story. I like Elijah Moore too. Like, again, there's lots of players. It's hard to like the exact same guy, right? But I'm very happy with ABT, assuming he doesn't have an injury-riddled career, because let's be frank, he was injured at the end of his rookie year too. Right? He was injured his rookie year, and we lost him week 6, something along those lines, 7, what was it? We lost him for the year. So far, ABT has not had a full season. So, again, they're young. It's okay, but you got to think like that. That's funny, David. You're exactly 100% right. Now, let me tell you this. If Schmitz goes out there and he runs a slow 40 or he's weak on the bench or anything like that, you're going to see him drop. People that love him today want him. They choose him in every single mock. Soon as he runs a little bit 2 points slower than they want him to, they're going to take him off. They're going to put him in the 5th round. It happens every fucking year, man. It's crazy. It's funny. Crossfire says, knowing Joey D, he'll trade back into the high 20s, low 30s for another player that none of us think we're going to be. That's very true. Who thought we were going to get Jermaine Johnson in the late 20s, right? 26. Who? No one. No one. Like him or not, no one thought he was going to be there. No one. How the hell did that happen? It's amazing. And then he only gave up. He traded up his 2nd and a 5th, right? Let me see something. What was the trade for Jermaine Johnson? Let's see. What did they give up? All right, here's what the Jets gave up. We got number 26. We gave up a 3rd rounder from the Titans. And a 3rd rounder from the Titans. Yeah, we swapped 3rds, right? So we swapped 3rds. So we got pick 26 and a 3rd. We sent them our 35. So our 2nd, our 3rd, and then we gave them a 5th. So we swapped 3rds and gave them a 5th. That's all we get. Dude, that is an amazing trade. To move up 9 spots from back into the 1st round, get the 5th-year option, the whole thing. It's an amazing trade. He swapped 3rds and gave a 5th. Who gives a shit, right? Even though Joe Douglas is good at finding talent in the 5th round. You know? Even though he finds people in the 5th round, giving up a 5th to get one of the top 4 edge rushers in the entire class, and on their board, they said they had him as the 9th overall player in the whole draft. So, but no matter how you slice it, guys, to give up a 5th round pick and just swap 3rd so you don't lose the pick in the round, to get one of the top 4 edge rushers at the bottom end of the 1st is robbery. It's highway robbery. Let me see. All right, let's do it. Let me make sure. I think it's a great trade no matter what, but let's take a look. So you got 26 is 700 points. We were 35. So 550. So we needed to get, what was it? Pick 143? 143, right? Is that what it was? So 143 is worth 35 points. And all right, let me I got to go back and look at it. Okay, so 163. All right. So we got their 3rd, which was what? So we gave him 69, 35, and 163. All right. 65, 69, 35, 69, and 163. So 35 is 550, 69 is 245, and 163 is 25. So what's that? Let me do them. I can't add for shit, everybody. Let me see what we got here. I got to do it this way because I'm broken in the brain. Oh, yes, I am. All right, 550 plus, what was it? 69, which is 245 plus 163, which is 25, equals 820. Okay, so we're 120 points draft-wise down, but then we got their 3rd. So what was the pick we got? What pick did we – New York Jets 222. Hold on, let me see. Let's see what we did here. Jermaine Johnson. It's the pick we got for Ruckert, I think, right? Let me see. Yeah, we took Ruckert. So 101. So what did we do here? All right, 101. So 96. So we'd 796. So we gave up a whopping 24 points, which is a value of we overpaid by 24 points, which is essentially another fifth. Not bad, guys, to get a top 4 edge rusher in the class. You see it? Thank you, Superfan. 101. Right. Yeah, totally. I mean, dude, Jermaine Johnson's rookie season was very good, guys. And again, without guys like Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson looking like they did, if he was our only first-round pick and he had the exact same year, in years past, that would be more than enough for us to be excited about Jermaine Johnson going in the year 2. Yeah, totally. Duh, that's what I'm thinking. It'd be very easy to do that. I find it hard to believe that they're going to go for $7 million. I just don't see it. But that's what they're saying. Yeah, again, it's a difference. But when we're looking at points, Superfan, we gave up 24 points. We overpaid by 24 points. Is that breaking anybody's draft? If that's too much for you to pay to get the 9th player on your board at 26, then it's too much to pay. I think it was a slam dunk trade. I couldn't even believe it was real. Couldn't even believe it was real. I know, guys. Thank you, Yo Mama. I got to go. This is way too friggin' long. We did an hour and a half already. I'm so sick of myself. Guys, I love you. I'm glad we did this. And we got a good ass team. Okay. Make sure that you understand something, that the team, before you want to chop anybody's head off, take a look at where we came from. Where were we? And it's not just like, oh, we won this many games and now we won this many games. It's not that simple, guys. Where were we as an organization, as a franchise? Just because we happen to win a couple games doesn't mean shit about who we were as a franchise. We're actually building a team where, guys, just this week, we were called the number 1 landing spot for the free agent quarterbacks this year. That's rarely said about us. Just that alone should tell you something. We're on to something. You don't chop the head off of the carpenter because he only has 2 walls up and you can't live in it yet. Let him build the fucking house. He's a little slower than I wanted. Let him build the house. He's building it right. He's building it strong. Let him build the house. But I want to live in there. You can't live in it yet. Just hold on. Let him build the house. He's halfway done. Okay? Just let him build. Okay? Guys, have a great night. You guys are all the best. Don't let anybody tell you differently. I love you, and I'll see you guys very soon. What's tomorrow? Wednesday? Beanbagger night. We got breakdown offensive tackles for the Beanbaggers tomorrow night, guys. Private exclusivity. If you're a Beanbagger, get excited. Me, Dom C, and the rest of the group will be hanging out in our private room talking about offensive tackles till your heart's content. Other than that, I will see you. Let's see. Where's my thing? I'll see you all next time. Have a great night.
I think he's going to be day one, a violent vertical edge setter.